Welcome to Muletown Speed. I'm Brian and you're watching an engine showcase video. This engine is for sale and we make a video like this for every engine that we sell so that you can get an in-depth look at your engine and watch it run before you buy it. Although we don't rebuild or remanufacture engines, our process of cleaning, inspecting, testing, and fixing if necessary gives you the confidence that your used engine is going to run great in your project. It'll also protect you from spending big bucks on a crate motor or risking your time and treasure on a junkyard mystery motor. All right, folks, today's engine is engine number 460002. That's 460002. That's the number that you need to remember when you're contacting us about this engine. And you can ask all the questions you want, and then we'll know exactly what you're talking about. But this engine is, I guess, maybe a little bit unique in that it is a Gen 4. It's either like an LY6 short block. 175,000 miles on that short block. But what we did is, since we only got it as a short block, we built the rest of it up as a Gen 3 engine, running it on Gen 3 electronics. The Gen 3 stuff is a lot easier, a lot simpler to manipulate, to hook up and deal with in a factory harness application than the Gen 4 stuff. So we have converted the reluctor wheel and the crankshaft has been swapped over to the Gen 3 24X reluctor wheel, and it runs on just a regular old 411 PCM that you'd find in like a 99 to 06, 07 Silverado, Tahoe, anything like that. So pretty cool drive-by cable. And it gets, you have the benefits of the Gen 4 short block, which are the beefy rods, but with the simplicity and all the benefits of a Gen 3, which would be, the easier electronics, the parts that are really easy to find, that type of thing. So when we got this, it needed a bunch of parts, obviously, because it was just a short block. And because it was just a short block, we tore everything apart and got into it, and just to make sure everything was okay. So what that means is it got a ton of new parts, and I'm going to run through these parts real quick. So you might have to pause this and go back if you want to, make sure that you heard everything. But I'm going to rattle through all of these. Are all new parts that were added to this engine. So here we go. It got a set of multi-layered steel head gaskets. Those are Felpro head gaskets, the good ones. It got a new set of cam bearings. And main bearings. We did an inspection on all that stuff, obviously, since we had it apart, and we were swapping the reluctor wheel over, and the mains were a little scuffed. The rod bearings looked brand new, so we replaced the main bearings. We replaced the oil pump, and obviously LS7 lifters. It's kind of our standard deal. We replaced those lifters. It got a rear main seal and gasket. The camshaft that we use is a brand new, it's an Elgin E1839-P, 1839-P. You can look that one up, but that is a 575 lift, 220, 224 duration on a 112 LSA. Basically what that means is it's gonna have some chop to it, as you'll hear in the video, but it's not too much that you couldn't run it with a stock converter. That's why I wanted to try this one, and I really like it because it's right in that sweet spot. I've run a stock converter on a 1840P, which is the 585 lift, and that's like a 228, 230 duration, so it's a little bit beefier cam, but it does push that stock converter pretty good, and it could have definitely benefited. This one is just slightly smaller. It's still going to sound great, as you'll hear. It's still going to make great power, but it's kind of that sweet spot of being able to use it with a stock converter. Obviously, you don't have to. You can use it with a converter. It's going to run great, but this is also known as a sloppy stage 1.5 cam. In addition to that, it got a new cam retainer plate gasket thing. It got a 3-bolt cam gear as part of the conversion, and as part of the VVT delete. That's the other thing, is that this Gen 4 engine, a lot of times they come with variable valve timing or displacement on demand. This has neither anymore. It didn't have displacement on demand, but it did have the VVT, but we deleted that as part of this whole conversion. So it now has a 3-bolt cam gear, brand new. It has an LS2 front timing cover with obviously a brand new gasket and a seal on that. Brand new set of LS2 head bolts. To complement the camshaft, we're also running a set of PAC 1218 valve springs. It's a perfect valve spring for that camshaft. Also got a new water pump, brand new thermostat, brand new serpentine belt, and then obviously like oil filter, spark plugs are all new. But the other thing to note here is that we're not using the cheap Chinese stuff here. We're using name brand, good quality stuff. Like the lifters are LS7 lifters. The cam is an Elgin cam. We're using Cloy's parts. We're using Melling oil pumps. Molly is a lot. We use a lot of Molly parts here, so it's all good quality stuff. That we're not just cheaping out here just to get things in and out the door. We want parts that are going to last. So some other stuff that we added here. The O2 sensors on this one are brand new. I think those are Bosch. We've got AC Delco exhaust manifold gaskets. Brand new water temp sensor. Actually, no, that was a takeoff. Sorry, brand new starter. Let's see, brand new cam position sensor. And I think that's it on the new parts. And then obviously we outfitted the rest of it with, coils and everything that, we tested and make sure that they work great. So as you'll see in the run video. So that is a really crazy long list of parts, but this one is it's gonna go quick. I know it is. And this one is in great shape, ready to go to a good home. It makes 42 pounds of oil pressure, and no leaks, no weird noises, just the rumble sound from the camshaft. So for more information on this engine and all of our other engines that we have in stock, muletownspeed.com is the best place to find that. We also have a page there explaining the different level packages that we offer, 1, 2, and 3. Level 3 is going to be the most complete package, which is what this one is, and it's going to come with the fuse block, the PCM, the wiring harness, the O2s, like all the little doodads to get this thing up and going in your hot rod without really knowing exactly what you have. That's what the level 3 includes, but it also runs through what's provided with a level 1 and a level 2. So you get an idea of the differences there. That's all on muletownspeed.com, as well as all of our contact info, which will also be at the end of this video. Feel free to reach out and let us know if you want this one. And with that, let's get to the run video. Thanks. All right, good morning, everybody. This is 460002. Today's a good day because we're going to be doing a test run on this engine. I'm pretty excited about this one. This awesome little engine. So we ran it yesterday for probably an hour in total. We did several heat cycles on it. Checked for leaks, checked for any weird noises, messed with the tune just a little bit because this does have a camshaft in it. And just as a reminder, since it's not a big cam, but it's like a 220, 224 cam, something like that. It will need to be tuned once you get it installed for fueling, and really to optimize that cam, you're going to want to adjust fuel and ignition timing anyway. But I love this cam because it's right in that sweet spot of not needing a converter, but still being girthy and sounding good, making good power. So and also another reminder here, what we test these engines with, like what you see here, that's what you're actually going to be getting. So it's not like we take this core engine and we put different stuff on it and sell it to you. So like the oxygen sensors that we're running here, those are the oxygen sensors that you get. We don't put different accessories on it, or, a different wiring harness or a different computer or anything like that. So like this computer is the computer that you're going to get, and it's going to come with the tune that we're running right now. Things like that. So you can, I guess, have some confidence that yes, it is a used engine with used parts, but these parts work. And if you're buying something even from a reman facility, you don't get that. You don't know that what you're going to get is going to work until you get it in the car, get it hooked up, get the bugs worked out, and then find out, oh, there's something wrong with the X sensor, or there's a leak in the rear main seal, or something like that. So that's why we do this video, and we're going to get this one fired up. So right now we're doing a cold start, and it's about 64 degrees out. Actually, it's exactly 64 degrees out, and everything's going good. Our oil pressure is in the back here. So what I do here, and this is a cool thing that maybe a lot of people don't know that are getting into this. So back here is where your oil pressure sensor reads from, just the one that normally goes to your dash in like a Silverado truck. You can get an adapter to go to MPT pipe, and you can run your fitting to just a standard oil pressure gauge. That way makes it super easy, and it's inexpensive. I think that adapter right there to go to MPT pipe is like 10 or 15 bucks or something. So it's pretty sweet. But anyway, we've got our oil pressure gauge there, and we're gonna get this fired up. Get some fuel pressure. About 50 PSI, cold. And you can hear that this is untuned for the most part. Cold idle. So this comes with a 4L60 or a 6L80 style flex plate. But if you need to connect it to something else, let me know, because we're now offering kits that allow you to convert to basically pretty much any GM transmission. So if you have an older, like a Turbo 350, Turbo 400, 700R4, Muncie 4-speed, anything like that, we've got the parts to hook that up for you. So just ask me about that when you're contacting me about this engine. But you can see no smoke, even on cold start. The thing runs awesome. Got a bunch of new parts in it. You can see there's our vacuum signal there. It's idling about, where do we have it set at? 650. That's fully adjustable, but right now it's sitting at about 650, and it seems pretty happy. 91 degrees. You can see our oxygen sensors are already moving back and forth. So even now, like, the fueling at idle is pretty close. But once it gets into closed loop, which is what you want, it'll start trimming fuel and kind of get this, you'll hear it, it'll start to sound a little bit cleaner, a little bit crisper. Right now it's kind of fat. You can see under here, no leaks. Everything's dry under here. Nothing leaking here. About 45 PSI in the oil pressure. What we saw yesterday, once it was fully warmed and we just let it heat soak, was right about 40, 42 on the oil pressure once the oil was nice and hot. So pretty tight engine. So this has got 706 heads. It's got the return style fuel rail, so you got a supply and a return right there. You got your fuel pressure regulator right there. So all you need is a supply and a return going back to your tank, and a pump that'll do 60 PSI. You got a battery hookup here for your alternator. You got a battery hookup right here. That's all constant battery power. And then on the back side of this, there's one wire for a key switch wire. and then obviously a battery connection over on your starter. And that's really it for connections. The stuff you see here, this is an O2 sensor. This is an O2 sensor. But that's all included. That's all wired up. So you just got to plug those O2 sensors in. And 27 degrees now. The valve train, even though there's a cam with stiffer valve springs and a lot more lift and duration, you really still, you can hear that the lifters, but they're brand new lifters, and there's going to be a little bit of valve train noise, especially when you have a cam like this. But even so, it's incredibly quiet. We should be in closed loop now. Yep, as you can see right here, it says closed loop, normal. So now it's actually trimming fuel. So it's negative means it's pulling fuel out. So it's doing its job. So it's correcting for, the fuel. Either it's got too much fuel in the tune or too little fuel. That's an indicator that there's too much. But 15% for something that's nearly stock is it's pretty normal. I mean, it's well within its capabilities to tune out. What really matters when you're tuning, as far as safety is concerned, is looking at that number, trying to get that number as low as possible by adjusting fuel in the fuel tables and the PCM. When you're doing wide open throttle, those O2 sensors aren't working. It goes into open loop when it's under full throttle, so it's not using O2 sensors for feedback, since they don't react fast enough to the changing conditions of the engine as it's revving up. So it uses just a simple mathematical model in that PCM to determine fuel. So that's where you can run into issues not having enough fuel when you're going, like drag racing or something like that. So getting that tuned in is, it's A, for safety, but also to maximize your power. You really want to get that adjusted right in your PCM. And since I don't have a dyno here, I'm not able to do that. But we got a hell of a head start on this engine for someone's hot rod here. You can see our O2 sensors are switching back and forth. It goes from 0 being lean to 1 being fat, and it's basically, it wants to go back and forth and see that switch happen using these narrowband O2 sensors. That means that it's right at the correct air-fuel ratio. If it's sitting at 0 or it's sitting at 1, that means that there's either too much fuel or not enough fuel. Rev it up and see if I don't kill it. Since this is not tuned, there we go. It didn't die. Sounds great. Doesn't blow any smoke. Doesn't leak. This thing's awesome. I really wanted to keep this for myself. I always want to keep the best ones for myself, but this one's pretty awesome. About 160 degrees. I might let it go to like 180 or something like that. Since it's cooler out, it's going to take a while. I don't have fans or anything going right now to try and keep this cool. It's just naturally warming up, but I don't want to bore you to death. About 42, 44 psi on our oil pressure. $1.72. All right, 178. I don't know that there's much else to show here. I mean, we could let it get hot, but that's going to take a good long while. Yesterday, even in the middle of the day, I couldn't get it to go above 190 without any fans or anything. So we're pretty much warmed up as far as it's going to go. So, and we're about 40, 42 psi oil pressure. You can see alternators charging, 14.2 volts. Everything seems to be working great on this hybrid motor. So let me go ahead and shut this off and get this one pulled off the run stand. Get it back on a regular stand so we can get it ready to go to a new home. Thanks, everybody. So I hope you liked what you saw there in the run video. If you're interested in this motor, our contact info is all on the right side of the screen here. Let us know the stock number of the engine that you're referring to when you call us, email us, whatever. That way we're all on the same page. We are located in Columbia, Tennessee, and that is about an hour south of Nashville, about an hour north of Huntsville. So for shipping, we can ship all over the country to a dock of your choice for a fee, and we can also deliver the engine to you for a fee just on our shop truck here and get you taken care of that way. Or you can come pick it up here in Middle Tennessee. It's all up to you what you want to do. And all of this info, as well as other engines that we have available and our new PCM programming services, is on our website, muletownspeed.com. That's kind of our hub. So if you have questions, go there and hit us up and let us know if you want this one. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you.